Welcome to From Here to There, a podcast presented by Formidable Grooming Products, where we have discussions with leading professionals in the barbering and hairdressing industry on the art, craft, and business of hair, discovering what it takes to become a formidable force in the industry. My name's Paddy, and I'm joined by my co-host Sam. We are brothers and co-owners of Formidable Grooming Products, and today we are stoked to have Jordan McDowall with us from Barbershop Jordy in Carterton. Welcome, Jordy.
How are you guys?
Good to have you, bro.
Thanks, mate. Glad to be on here.
Look, we'll start where we start always, which is just a bit of a background on you, how you got into the industry and where you are now, bro. If you could give us that would be great.
Yeah, so cut the long story short, I started my barbering journey in 2010 in November. I'd done the Gateway program at my college and had worked one day a week in a barbershop for a year, and then I got asked if I wanted an apprenticeship. Carry on from there. 5 years down the track, I decided to venture out on my own and was fortunate to get a little room in the back of a clothing store, and had a very cheap rent of $100 a week. And then the next move from there was to open up my own standalone shop, which we found in 2016. And we've ran that until this year. 2 years ago, I expanded into our second business, or our second location down here in Carterton. And last month, we decided to wrap up the Masterton shop after 8 years and come back down to a smaller shop and a nicer shop, and sort of reset and refocus and strip back to basics.
Nice.
And now we're here.
Awesome, bro. I'd love to get your thoughts on the whole expansion, like the business of expanding a business. You know, like you build a business and you want to sort of grow that and maybe expand into different areas and that, and sort of maybe some of the challenges that you can hit with that, because I think a lot of barbershop owners have considered it at some point. Would you say, you know, you open one store and it goes well and you kind of like, man, I could take what I've done here and then maybe go to the town over and try it there. And obviously you're someone who's done that, and be interested to hear some of the like positives and some of the cool things about that, and maybe some of the challenges as well.
Yeah, well, initially it was we had 5 barbers in our Masterton shop, and obviously when you have a lot of barbers in one store, you've got to start, I suppose, like scrambling for work, and you're trying to cut everyone and anyone.
Yeah, and
you just really you're really trying to keep all the boys or girls seats full for the whole day, and the idea about that was of the expansion was broadening our client base and targeting some different areas around the Wairarapa to bring on more clients, and then give the boys an opportunity to work out of somewhere else, or maybe go into a management or something like that. Or
nice.
Because I've taken on quite a few apprentices, and when you take on apprentices, like from my idea is you want to create a career for them and make them feel comfortable in their own workspace.
Mm-hmm.
But probably the downside to that is not everyone's intentions are the same as yours. So
yes.
You can have all these plans, but at the end of the day, everyone's out for themselves, and they want to do what they want to do, and we want to do what we want to do. And sometimes it doesn't work out like that.
How do you manage that? Because I know Sam might be able to talk to this as well, probably better than I can, but it's a hard business, the whole apprenticeship, like firstly getting the kind of people in that you're like, oh, I can see they have the potential, you know, and then investing that enormous amount of time and energy into them. And then obviously it doesn't always work out and you can lose people. And, but also have you learned things from that, Jordy, that like maybe you did at the beginning and now that you do slightly differently when you approach that whole process?
100%. Like Sam will know as well. Coming from a smaller area, we don't exactly have the access to experienced barbers coming in off the street and wanting to work for you. Like
absolutely.
In somewhere like Wellington or Auckland, like a lot of barbers will jump around shops, stay there for a couple of years, move on to the next place, and they're always building experience. And a lot of the time, they're bringing their own client base with them as well. Where in smaller areas, it sounds a bit funny, but you're getting drips and drabs from the other areas, and maybe barbers that aren't really who you want. So the idea for me was to train people like myself and get them to become working the way that I wanted them to be, and without sounding too arrogant, backing myself and using the skills that I've acquired to train them into awesome barbers and for them to have a career for themselves.
Cool. That is an important thing though. That the surplus or in circulation, the barbers in smaller areas, like you say, Jordy, where you are, same with us here. Like you don't have that luxury. You guys that have had 10 years, you show them their station, you show them their seat, and that's really it. It's like it is from ground zero, and like you say, through apprenticeships, through training staff. Like you said, Jordy, you want them to cut hair a certain way, and you want them to serve people how people get served at Barbershop Jordy. So it's so much more than just showing them the station and really giving them an education in what you're doing, and that's such a big task to take on.
Yeah, I watched the other podcasts that have been on here, and Julian said something really interesting that sort of sat with me, and it's also about letting go of that control a little bit as well. I think when I started out with my first couple of like green workers, I was very by the book. This is what we're doing. Like if you don't do it like this, we're gonna have the talk sort of thing. But with these two new workers I've sort of taken a step back from that kind of stuff and giving them a bit more responsibility and control over how they're dealing with the clients, and just being in the background more, being like, try this, or
it must be a hard balance, bro. As someone tips. Who doesn't know, because I'm like, you want to control it to the point where you're getting the result you want in terms of your haircuts because it's your brand, they're working for you. But then, you don't want to be so controlling. And everyone's had that, or like a boss that's just like over their shoulder and it just feels really oppressive, Yeah. Is there any tricks or things that you've that people might find useful that you've implemented with your apprentices that maybe you're seeing a good result from?
Well, for example, I've got one worker, so he doesn't react well under pressure from me.
Yeah.
So if I leave him alone if we talk about things away from the client, then it seems to work a lot better for him.
Nice.
And talking at the end of the day, so if we're going to talk about something negative, like at the end of the day seems to be better, because then the worker can go home and fully process like what we've talked about. But I always try and finish it on a positive note as well. You don't want your staff going home, I'm rubbish, or or he's really upset at me or something like that. But then on the other hand, my other worker, he's played a lot of high pressure sport and all that, and he copes well under pressure. So I sort of give him like little challenges, and and generally he'll come up to the plate and be like, all right then, like, oh yeah, you want me to you want me to do this? All right, I'll show you, sort of thing. But my other worker probably doesn't react as well to that kind of stuff.
So you're saying that like you're identifying I guess because now you're more experienced in it, you're looking at the individual in front of you and sort of seeing what do they need from me rather than I'm just going to give them what I give them.
Yeah, well that's what I was sort of meaning before. But like earlier on, I used to be very like everyone's the same. This is how we're doing it. A little bit old school, like this is how we do it here. And now it's more like, okay, this works for this guy, and this doesn't work for this guy. But
it's cool because at the end of the day, that you want the best result for them and you, bro. You know, like you want to be able to have good relationships with staff. You want them to stay on. You want them to be invested in the business. I think. Yeah. And we've talked to some owners who have said that there's ways you can make them feel more important and more valued. Is that sort of how do you approach that with your other stuff? Like obviously you want to pathway some of those people into management, are you, and different roles maybe in your business, or
yeah? So we're down to the stripping back thing. We're moving for more to rent a chair.
Nice.
In the past, we've done wages and like contracting and stuff like that. Well, rent a chair is still contracting, but just putting more emphasis on them to generate the work for themselves. And I suppose for them, it could be like they're having the flexibility of running their own clients, but we're still providing everything for them, you know, and they're able to earn some good money.
Cool.
We don't, you know, we probably don't earn as much money, but then our costs go down as well.
Yes.
But for them, it's just, I suppose it's like letting go again. It's like, this is the set amount that we'll charge you a week for your booth rent, and then you can work whatever hours you want to a point, you know. So, there's more emphasis on the contractor rather than me being like, you have to work this day, you have to work that day, because as we know, that doesn't work for everyone either. And this new generation of barbers, they're very friendship and family invested, and a lot of them still live at home.
Yeah,
they're not sort of like us that probably got kicked out when we were 19 or whatever, you know. But that's just the way the economy's going, I suppose. Like parents want to give their children a bit of an uplift and a good head start, so they let them stay at home for not paying rent. And
totally,
young fellas can't rent houses; it's too expensive.
I know, it's crazy, and what a good way of putting that ownership and accountability as well, Jordy, on the individual. If they're renting a chair, if they're essentially operating their own business, I think there is another level of maybe accountability and everything involved in that, man. Because as you say in the past, if you're sometimes you can find if they're on wages, it becomes a bit monotonous, and like, you know, you just sort of chip away. It's like hold on, no, you're as good as your last, but you have to really stay honest with it.
Oh, 100%. And I feel like when people are on wages, they can sort of let the handbrake off. They sort of pull the handbrake up a little bit at times, and they're getting paid by the hour, so they only want to do as much work as what's required of them for their hour, and it can turn into a negative thing between management and the workers. Yes. And yet, I felt like when we moved to contracting and rent a chair, it wasn't like me having to be digging my fingers into their shoulders as much, you know, like being on their case about stuff. Like, but at the end of the day, if you're getting paid by the hours, like when the windows need cleaning and the shop needs vacuuming out, or like that is your responsibility. Unfortunately, if you're getting paid by the hour. If there's no haircuts, you're doing other jobs.
How do you? I have a few other questions around like managing the business. Like, obviously, you have learned as you've gone? You don't have a background in management, or like, because you went from school to barbering, and then from barbering saying, hey, I want to do my own thing, and then managing staff. It's just like gradual, like increase in sort of your load as you started as a barber, and then all of a sudden you've got 5 or 9, as you have in the past, people you're managing. What are some of the big learnings that you've had from managing people that you can pass on? Like we've talked about, like, the apprentice side of things, but also keeping people motivated, keeping people on the ball. Is there some things that have really worked well for you in your business?
We used to do a lunch every Friday, and
Cool.
it started off as like sometimes we'll just buy pizzas or something like that, but then I'm going to get down the rabbit hole a bit here. I bought a barbecue that we had out the back of the shop during one summer, and it was real nice. Every Friday we took lunch at the same time, and it started off with me going out and cooking everything and putting on for them. But then over the time, it was the boys started taking responsibility for it, and it was like their thing.
Cool.
And it was like a different person cooking it every Friday, and we just got to sit there and have that little together time.
Nice.
And just I think there's something with when people are eating and drinking, they feel relaxed, and you can open up and actually talk about some serious work stuff, or positive or negative, but you actually get a lot of talking done.
Cool.
Where sometimes when you have those individual meetings or team meetings or whatever, some workers aren't confident to be able to speak up truly about how they're feeling, or throw ideas out there or whatever. And I just thought that was, at the time, it worked quite well for us. And it was
love
like
that
a
kind of
clear
team
year on a
bonding.
Friday, especially when we were very busy.
Interesting too in a barbershop, and it would be similar in a hair salon as well too. Like, it's interesting. You're talking with clients, you're interacting all day long, Jordy, but sometimes, and you're right there next to them, you're the station over from them, you sometimes don't connect with your own team, with your own staff. You don't, because, it's preparation in the morning, and you're sort of, hey, yep, cool. And then everyone's knocking off at the end of the day. So for that sort of Friday tradition that you put in place there, like, I can imagine there's excitement around that because you actually get to connect with your team.
Yeah, well, now they're all down here in one shop again, and we're going to start doing some things like that again. And
yeah, cool.
Like I said, just really stripping it back and starting again, I suppose.
Cool.
That's awesome. We do a similar thing here at the shop too, Jordy. We shut every day for lunch, and this was the thing we always rolled and did.
Someone was always on.
Yes, there was always someone on lunch, but then we revisited everything. Excuse me. And yeah, we adjusted to where we shut the door for lunch for an hour. All combined the breaks, and found it really positive, and everyone sort of can hang out together in the back room cool, or if they're heading off and doing their own thing, that's great too. But that connectiveness and that ability and time to actually connect with your team and sort of share some ideas, and then you're all back on the floor again. It's created a real positive.
I suppose it's quite good for clients as well, because then there's no willy-nilly stuff of, they open at this time, or like, it's very, very clear that you'll be shut for an hour or whatever, or half an hour.
Absolutely. And also too, they now know too that every barber is on right up until lunchtime, and then every barber is on after lunch. So like, in terms of that availability of who they're wanting to get their haircut from, or any of those things, it's really reliable.
It's cool how you learn these things as you go and try things, and some things don't work, other things work. But I think everyone we've talked to so far has really tried to focus on the team and build a team that they enjoy working with, that everyone enjoys the environment. Because you can't do this alone. Well, you can, obviously, you can have a shop by yourself, but like, if you want to grow a business, having the right people around you is in any business, but I particularly see it in barbering, because it's almost like camaraderie, and like you're almost in the trenches together. Would you say, like, you feel like, because you're cutting, you're out there, you're physically doing stuff, and sometimes it's hard,
we're probably a bit different now, and this is no like disrespect to my new workers or whatever, but they've been very fortunate to come and work for us when we've solely been doing bookings. So they've never really had to, like, apart from Christmas time and holidays and stuff like that, or the random day you get a hell of a lot of people coming in. They've never really had to be in those trenches.
Yeah.
Like when you've got a shop full of people and the next one's waiting and there's been a 2-hour wait. So, they've just been very fortunate to not have to come into that.
Because that's stressful, eh? I mean, I've never been part of it, but I'll come in and see like friggin' 20 people waiting, and I'm just like, oh God, I feel stressed already, you know?
Yeah. Well, the reason we changed from walk-ins to bookings is because like some days would have 10, 15 people waiting out the front of the door at the start of the day.
Yeah.
And then that would be us for like an hour or so, and then you're getting people driving past and they're just looking in and seeing a seat full of people, and they're like, oh, I'm not going in there. So we actually started to lose some clients because there was like an idea that we were always really busy, when sometimes that wouldn't be the case. Sometimes it would be a mum when there were 3 kids and one kid, little Timmy, was getting his hair cut, but it looked like the shop was really full.
Yeah. Yes.
So, and then I started having to be the old grumpy fella and saying, oh, you know, like he's getting his hair cut, but we can't really have all these people sitting here because it's making us look full. But
sure. Yes.
So we just wanted to try and eliminate some of that kind of stuff and confusion, or people getting disgruntled over having to wait a couple hours for a haircut. And we wanted a bit more consistency. So like it wasn't like one day was a feast and the next day is a famine and we're all standing around with our hands in our pockets because we've missed out on 10 clients that have walked off.
Do you feel it was working better for your barbers, bro? Obviously, and money-wise, like how's it working? Like you don't have to delve into the detail, but financially, has it been a good decision as well as like for your staff?
Yes, like for training purposes, it was very good because I was able to give the boys a set amount of time to do their clients in.
True.
So, and it was to eliminate error. And it gave me a little bit of time to be able to come over and address little things, little parts of the haircut that could have been needed tidying up or done a little bit better. Excuse me. And but obviously in terms of monetary wise, you know, we're not getting those quick 10-minute jobbies on old Bill or Bob that comes down the road and just wants a quick haircut, but I suppose our prices don't reflect that sort of work anymore either.
It'd be good to talk about that too, bro, your pricing. Like, how do you approach that in a place like Carterton? I know Sam can talk about this too, obviously. You'd be probably at the forefront down there where you're setting the expectation of what it costs for a haircut in 2024 when guys have this idea. Some people, especially in smaller places, have this idea that it should still be $20. It should be $20. And
well, a haircut was $20 20 years ago, bro. So if you put that in perspective, then I've seen on social media at the moment and things like TikTok and Facebook Reels and stuff, there's a lot of negative talk going on about how much barbers are charging. Yeah. But you wouldn't get a builder in and tell him how much he's going to do his work for, would you?
Absolutely.
You know, like you don't go to the supermarket and be like, oh well, this product's $30, but I'm only going to pay 10 for it.
Yeah. Barter it.
Yeah, there's no at the end of the day, I suppose you've got to be confident enough to know how much your product's worth, and you've got to have an understanding of your running costs and stuff. Like obviously having bookings, you know, we want to up the price a little bit because the client's getting more time in the chair and we're able to do some really cool stuff with them, like using the cutthroat on every client and getting a hot towel on everyone's neck and styling the clients when they're coming out of the shop. So everyone's walking out feeling fresh. It's, I suppose, the service. As we've increased our pricing, we've increased our service as well.
Nice. So people feel it, eh? I guess if the price goes up, they don't just feel like, oh, he's just gouging. He's charging more money for the same service. Not that that's a problem, but I'm interested because, I hear what you're talking about, that chat going on around what people are charging, and I think it is totally unfair because, this is an industry too that's been undervalued.
I know some barbers in Sydney that are charging $200 for a haircut.
Yeah.
But down the road, there's a Turkish barbershop or whatever that's charging 30.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's all relevant. But it's just, I'll put it down to like your confidence and backing your skills over to what you want to charge.
But I also say like pricing is like a signal way. It's like if a $30 barbershop will attract people who want a $30 haircut.
Oh, yeah.
And people who want to pay more and actually want a different experience, different service, they're not looking for a $30 haircut. You know what I mean? It's different people. Different people want different things. And I guess if you have the confidence to say, this is the kind of client we want, you're going to get those clients. Would you say, Jordy?
Yeah. So I'll just touch on that quickly. So Sam will know as well, it's very daunting when you're wanting to put your pricing up. And it's a bit of a hurdle to get over, and that's in any business because you want to feel like you can justify it and make sure that it's warranted. But once I got over that hurdle, the realization around that, okay, like we should have done this a while ago, or maybe we could put it up a little bit more. It was just there that the confidence came with it. And like at the end of the day, we don't do this to make friends. Like we're in business to make money, and the boys turn up to work every day because they want to work hard and make money. And if you're coming to work and our prices are too low, then and we're not going home making money. It doesn't give you motivation to come to work to the next day. And it doesn't make you feel good, and it starts to get quite negative.
Yes.
Once we put our prices up, it sounds really bad, but we did get a different caliber of client.
Yep.
And same with the bookings as well. Like we did get a different caliber of client, and
yes.
And it's been like a really positive move.
Cool.
Like, you do get those negative Nancy's and you do lose some clients, but unfortunately, that's just the next stage of your business, and people, I suppose, will just need to understand that we're not trying to cut everyone and anyone anymore, and we're not trying to make it work for everyone anymore, and we're trying to focus on what our target clients are and who we really want coming in the shop as well. And upping the prices also defers those people that are going to do no shows.
Yes.
Or for a walk-in shop, I suppose, turning up at 5 or 6 o'clock on a Friday and wanting 4 people done and stretching your workload out. Right? So we don't really get that kind of stuff anymore.
That's cool.
Which is a real positive thing for us, especially I've got a family and my workers, they like doing lots of stuff outside of work as well. So it helps with that.
Absolutely. I think a key thing too, especially for people maybe starting out in the industry, working and gaining that experience and knowledge, Jordy, a big thing that you touched on there, which I 100% agree with, is like understanding that it isn't personal if people leave you, or as a client, I mean, and people will come and go, and that's all a part of the journey. It doesn't matter whether it's based on pricing or how they feel about coming and going. Like, I think a lot of a lot of people might feel as if sometimes it is a personal.
Yes, take it personally.
Take it personally.
Yeah. So I've always sort of stuck by a bit of an idea is that, like, you just be the best that you can be and be available to those clients. Mm-hmm. If they want to go somewhere else and try somewhere else, then that's fine. But as soon as they come back into your shop, you have to show them that same love that you were showing them when they're coming to you. Mm-hmm. Like, yes, there might be people that muck you around or whatever, but they're coming back to you for a reason.
Yes.
They're not just coming back to you because you're available. They're coming back to you because they want to get a haircut from you. And I think with the social media stuff at the moment, a lot of the new barbers, they see all this social media stuff and they want to feel like the hair, it's more than like, so in some cases it is more than a haircut, but they want to feel like that the client's coming to them because for the relationship or whatever. But if you actually talk to a lot of clients, they don't actually give a shit about any of that stuff. They're coming to you because you give them a good bloody haircut. Mm-hmm. Like they, at the end of the day, they're coming to us because they want a great service and a haircut. And that's why they come to us. They're not going down the road to the paint shop to get to have a relationship. They're going down the road to buy a bucket of paint.
I'll only buy paint off people I have a relationship with. Yeah, totally, bro. It's just, a service. Like your clients are coming to you for a service, and if you do get some connection, like particular clients you get different connections with and you build a relationship with, but not every client is like that. And sometimes I think people focus on that. Yeah. If the haircuts start going downhill, even if you've got a relationship, well then they might still second guess it because they're here for the haircut primarily, right?
Yeah, you can't slack off.
Yeah.
You've got to be consistent. And I think some barbers do get a little bit like that. Because they've built a relationship with someone, they feel like they can drop your standards a little bit, or they've got them coming in every 2 weeks, so they're not putting as much effort in. But at the end of the day, that person's still paying you money.
Yeah,
they're not coming in. You're not giving them a free haircut. Then they're paying money, so they want a good service.
Absolutely, I know for a fact. I reiterate this with the team, and my mentality around it too, Jordy, is that exactly, and it's you're as good as your last. I don't care if you've done it for 10, 25 years, 2 years, you're as good as your last. Look after them, good consultation, great time, recommend products, all these different aspects to what we do, and you're as good as your last service. That's how we think of it.
Yeah. The other thing is with barbering, like, the people who you cut are your walking billboard. And if you've let them walk out of the shop with a average haircut, people are going to, oh, where did you get your haircut? Oh, shit, that looks rubbish. I won't go there. But if you do a mean one, they're out there saying, oh, where did you get that done? Oh, give me a business card. Give us the guy's number, So it's sometimes those little things, we forget that kind of stuff, All
right, Jordy, so to finish, I think we'll do what we do every week, which is a bit of a rapid fire session. These are just an idea for you to sort of impart some thoughts on different topics, just real quick. Don't think too much about it, bro. Just whatever comes top of mind. It may be a tool that you use, or it might be a thought that you have, or something that you like around each of these kind of topics. So
Go ahead.
Let's give it a crack, eh? Okay, first and foremost, what's the most important cut to master in your mind?
A short back and sides.
Nice. Curly hair. What's something that you do to approach curly hair?
Send them to the hairdressers. Just freehand, a lot of freehand work.
Nice. Shears. Do you have any favourite shears or any thoughts on cutting tools?
Everyone's got to try their own things out. whatever works for you, I suppose.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Your personal preference. What's a recent favourite tool or something that you've found that you've locked onto recently that you really like?
I just bought some Babyliss low pros clippers, and they're really quiet, so you don't get that annoying, irritating, loud noise.
Totally.
The buzz.
If it's buzzing all day.
Cutthroat shaves, bro. What's something? Come on, share us a secret. What's the thing that you think is the key for cutthroat shaves?
Making sure the client has a really cleaned face and really like warming up the skin, sticking all those hairs up.
Yep. That preparation's everything, when it comes to shaving.
Correct.
Absolutely. Getting everything clean.
Don't shave dirty faces.
That's it. Not recommended.
We'll put that with your face, bro. Don't shave dirty faces. Wicked, bro. Those are the ones that we had for you. Any parting thoughts, bro? Anything that you'd like to talk about or share before we finish?
There's a little bit of good work going on behind the scenes at the moment, trying to create an identity for our industry.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll all be happening over the next 6 months to a year. So there's some very hard work going into figuring out what we look like as a barbering community in New Zealand and having our own identity, I suppose.
Cool. Exciting.
Which is pretty interesting. I can't say too much this year.
It's a teaser, bro.
Yeah.
Teaser. Are you working in on this, or are you just sort of observing it? Or
I'm sort of fortunate to. I've put myself out there over the years a little bit, especially coming from a small place, and I've been asked to help comment on some of these issues and try and find some solutions to us being able to get more workers on and having more experienced workers available to barbershop owners and
massive.
Making the apprenticeship feel worth something again.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Bro, that's really exciting. Looking forward to seeing when that comes out.
Yeah.
Sammy, any thoughts?
Mate, great to have you on and to get your to get the knowledge and the experience that you have, man. It's just, we just love talking with people, and we really enjoy sort of creating this platform to hopefully have some listeners and some people in the industry take things from this chat and from this podcast, and it's really exciting.
One thing I do just want to quickly say, I think as business owners and the government a little bit, we need to be teaching our staff about tax and banking, and I don't think that there's enough emphasis put on that for our industry. And a lot of these guys coming off these courses and stuff and coming and getting jobs, they're getting put straight on commission or contract or whatever, and they've got no idea about how the tax works or how to do their banking properly. So,
bro, that might be a really good topic to delve into, because we want to get you back again sometime and talk about that, because I think you can know how to cut a hair to here, but you might not know how to do your taxes or run a business, that kind of stuff and you hope that people aren't being taken advantage of out there, or but cluing up is the best thing you can do, right? Make sure you know.
It can come back to bite the shop owners in the ass as well, because someone's got to pay the tax at the end of the day. Very quickly, I'm very happy with your guys' products, and it's so cool to see you and a few others out there creating great New Zealand products, and it's just such an awesome thing to have in New Zealand. So we're not sort of buying overseas products.
Yeah, bro, I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's we're loving it, and like most of all, like just connecting with guys like you, bro, because like at the end of the day, we can make a cool product, but it is about relationships and people who also believe in it, and people who are willing to sort of like, pass it on to their customers, because it's very important. Your shop is your thing, and it takes a lot for you to have a product and want to pass that on through because it's part of your brand as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The other quite thing is there's not enough emphasis on barbershops to sell product.
Yep.
So and over in Australia, when you go for a haircut, you're walking out of that shop with a product.
Yeah.
And it can be very lucrative for your business if you're upselling your products and stuff.
Absolutely.
Totally.
We never used to pump products as hard, but we've started to do it in the last year, and you can make a lot of money out of it.
And bro, do you agree too that it's better for the customer? Because like you go to a barbershop, you get a mean haircut and they put product in your hair, and then you leave, and then you get home the next day and you wake up and your hair doesn't look anything like what you did the day before, and you kind of get disappointed. And I think like it's actually part of the duty of care of a barber to say, hey, I want you to feel like this every day.
And showing the client how to use that product and showing them how to style their hair can make someone feel really great.
Totally, and that's something we're looking at working on content-wise as well, right?
Yeah.
Bringing that to the forefront, Jordy, like you say, the attitude of having these guys leave the shop with a product in their hand, and it has, like you said, Paddy, the duty of care. Like you're shipping them out with something that is gonna benefit the way they style their hair, the way they feel about themselves. Obviously, our whole mindset about Formidable and wanting to create, that self-confidence, and that starts with looking good and taking care of yourself. And on the business front, I mean, taking it by the reins and really spearheading sort of product sales. It's a big aspect of the business that isn't unlocked in a lot of barbershops. People are scared of rejection and clients saying no.
But it's also having the skills to know how to sell it as well.
Yes.
So we're going to work on some training for that, bro. We and Sam have been talking about that, and we're going to put together a bit of a training thing that we can pass out to, barbershops. Obviously, take it or leave it, but it might be able to add a bit of professional development in there for barbers to sort of have more confidence in selling. I mean, it all starts with you believing in the product, step one. You can't sell something you don't believe in. And then step two, having the skills to be able to communicate that to a client, that this is actually something that will benefit you. I'm not like a snake oil salesman, like I'm here to do something to service you,
I just very quickly touching on this. I talked to this barber from Melbourne, and he said that their expectation when the client walks out, they walk out with a product in their hand, and his clients know that. Cool. And it's almost like a tip. And he said, the haircut's the draw card, and we're trying to sell them products. And I think hairdressers are very good at it in New Zealand, but barbers, we're probably a bit prehistorical with it, yes. And we probably don't push it enough.
It's an awesome space to explore, isn't it? Because I think there's huge potential, like for you as a barbershop owner too, bro, to have this additional stream of income, and also not feel like you're selling your soul doing it. You're actually adding to your service. Like it's a win-win-win. I can't see really a downside to it. And for sure, the client can say, no, I don't want that. Cool, sweet, but
they go home thinking about it though.
Yeah,
you put it on their head, and they'll go to the supermarket and buy their $10 product or whatever, and then they'll have all grease running down their forehead all day, and then they'll think, oh, maybe I should have bought some of that nice natural product, Formidable stuff that smells really good.
No Dex wax, bro. Yeah, exactly, man. Those were the days. Anyway,
Murray's
that's awesome.
And the orange tin.
That's it.
That's the one, man. I appreciate that, Jordy, and really good insights, man. And we'd love to get your thoughts on and that stuff in that space too as we develop that. But bro, overall, really appreciate all your thoughts on the podcast, man. And we'll certainly get you back because there's a lot we can discuss, and that time just flew by. But I think there'll be a lot in there for people listening. So
it's been a pleasure coming on, and I feel very privileged to be invited in this, especially with the the other two guys that you've had on. They're pretty up there barbers, the other two, and I sort of like staying down here being the medium fish in the small pond. So.
Mate, well, you're in that category. That's why we called you. So we appreciate it.
For sure.
Cool, man.